Okay, nice. Peace, blessings, and enough love, whole heap of love, plenty love to every person, every founder, every CEO data center owner that is here on this webinar today. Really thank you all for coming out. Really thank you for blessing us with your presence. And we know that your time is precious on this July 19, 2022 at our On Passive Globally Changing Lives Deep Dive. As we deep dive today on this webinar, we do hope and trust that you as founders will get something that you can take with you. We thank you all for coming out. We welcome you one and all, everyone on this webinar, and we really do appreciate everyone on this webinar. To start our program properly, we are going to start, of course, with Lerato, and that is with the In It to Win It.
To the future we rise high with one
We are in it to win it. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it, Lorato. That was awesome, awesome, awesome sauce. Awesome. Thank you very much. And as we continue, he was born in St. James, and that's Jamaica. Most people know Montego Bay. And he went to the Windward Road Allied School in Kingston. And then he moved to Kingston Technical High School on Hanover Street, where that was where I met with this distinguished, prestigious, handsome man that was a sergeant, a platoon sergeant in the cadet back in the days at high school. And he struck me from that time until now as a very disciplined, principled person on the planet. He went to England and is now living in Naples, Florida, where he lives with his lovely, beautiful, wonderful wife of 36 years. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine living with one dege person for 36 years? So most people struggle to even live for 5 years, 5 months. Praise the Lord. That is so lovely. And it's a lovely, beautiful woman at that, with now 2 children and 1 grandson. Can you imagine? I saw you so old. Oh my goodness. Anyway, right. And so his definitely his lovely wife sings on the church choir, and they both teach Bible studies and all those things. But today he's going to be looking at money management, part 3. So if you haven't seen part 1 and part 2, then you can go to the YouTube channel, otrim.ai/OGCL, which stands for On Passive Globally Changing Lives. And he's going to be looking at budget, trust, tax in general. But you remember the last meeting we had, which was last Thursday, his internet was given a few issues. So one of the topics that he was dealing with was creating measurable goals. So I hope he's going to start back from there, because that was where we left off last Thursday. So without any further ado, we will go directly to our handsome, distinguished, happily married man of 2 children, Dr. DIAN Edwards.
To whom much is given, much is expected. And in order to receive, we need to prepare ourselves. And Dr. Derek has been helping us for a long time now to prepare ourselves for the blessings we are about to receive. And want to thank him for the wonderful complement of speakers he has been able to present on this platform. And we've all learned something from everyone. I've learned a lot. And even the previous lady, very, very impressive. And the things she brought to us, we should all try to put some of these into practice. So firstly, on behalf of my beautiful wife, June, I'd like to greet everyone. I'd like to thank Brother Dr. Derek for allowing us the opportunity to talk to our fellow brethren or friends. And I want to give God the glory and give God the honor for allowing us this wonderful occasion. So we've been talking about what are we going to do when we receive these blessings, and covering things like budget, trust. Those also cover different forms of business organizations. And but we need to know these things, because the reason why we have not been able to receive our financial resources as yet is because we're not ready to receive it. Because if we get it last year or the year before, we will not know what to do with it. We don't know how to invest it. So we have some more things, some more tools that we want to share with everyone. We need to be very smart when we're trying to find our objective. I mean, the Lord has brought us here for a purpose. When the day comes for us to go to greener pastures, what can we leave behind? What legacy? And we need to plan good from now. So we need to be specific when we're creating goals. And there, to set a specific goal, we must answer 6. What are they? Who's involved? And who's involved in my goal? But the most important person involved in our goal and the person who is going to guide us to achieve our goal. Our goal is God. So we must put him first. It doesn't matter what your background, that he's the one going to help us to achieve our goal. So God and I, and sometimes our family members, wives, husbands, children, impassive members, they're all involved in helping us to achieve our goal. And we must acknowledge them. It's encouragement, and we must also encourage them. So the people of God, then there's all my other friends and relatives. Now, what do I want to accomplish? So when I get my passive money, I'm thinking about helping those who are less fortunate. Maybe they had. I mean, some of us, whilst growing up, we went to school barefooted, and we want to see how we can help others to at least obtain a pair of shoes so they can go to school and learn something. Now, sometimes we may have 5 or 50 pairs of shoes. We can only wear 1 pair each time. So how about those who have none? How can we help them? And it's not only about material things, but also knowledge. There are some youngsters who have no father figure around. So my goal is to help this young man to achieve certain things in life, maybe go to school, but how can I do that unless I have some of the resources? Bless us with these resources. And that's why we've been learning how to budget. We've been learning how to form a trust so we can put this safely so that when the time comes, available so to pay the right of taxes, because it says, give unto what's due unto and honor and obey the law, pay our tax. Choose not to, it will give a bad. Everyone wants to see the headline tomorrow morning. Impassive members are paying the maximum amount of taxes. Impassive members are keeping the best records, bookkeeping. Impassive members are protecting their assets. So those are the things we want to hear. So we want to think positively. So if I want to achieve my goals, I have to be positive in the goal. Also need to identify a location. So who's involved? What do I want to accomplish? And a location. Could be where, it could be virtual, could be a physical place to establish also a time frame. Now, we know that we're waiting patiently on impassive. And I think patience is a virtue, as patient as Job. And the more we wait, the more we're going to appreciate. But anything obtained quickly will never last. But anything we wait, longer we wait for this to be achieved, the more we'll appreciate. Because sometimes when we get things we do not appreciate it. And that's why we must teach our children work ethics and patience. Get rich quick or immediate mentality mode. They have to learn, and adults and guardians, we have to instill these in them. So they need to create specific goals also. Also identify the requirements and the constraints. You know, we need to do a self-analysis of ourselves, a SWOT analysis. What's my strength? You know, maybe I'm very good at talking. What's my weakness? I'm very weak in managing. Be honest with myself. What is my opportunities? The opportunities are there for me to learn how to manage my money, learn how to help others, and learn how to achieve certain goals. What's are the unknown? I do not know what tomorrow holds. You know, no one knows when the time will come for them to green the pastures. But we must do a self-analysis of ourselves. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats actually exist in our life. And the next reason is why? Specific reasons. Why do I want to set forward this goal? Well, you know, once I was growing up, I went through some very, very hard, difficult time. And I do not want any of my friends or anyone I know to go through these times also. Why not? Well, you know, experience teaches wisdom. And by me going through these things is to help us, to help others who are less fortunate. And that is why Impassive was established for this very purpose. And that's why all these wonderful leaders are surrounding us to teach us, to guide us. And the knowledge they've obtained is not for them to keep for themselves, but to share with others. Because if we've obtained all this knowledge and we keep it to ourselves, then we will lose it. If we don't use it, we will lose it. So we want to learn how to use these knowledge that we've been blessed with. So creating measurable goals. To determine if your goal is measurable, we need to ask questions such as, how much? What is my goal? I need to find a way to measure it. Say, for example, I want to set up a school. So I know there's a school I want to set up. So I want to have some measurements there. Also want to know how.
The Lord always works something out when the devil tries to intervene. So now we know that our goals have to be attainable. We cannot look at a pie in the sky approach. We must look at something that's practical. When you identify your goals that are most important to you, you begin to figure out ways you can make them come true. So when we identify these goals, what's most important to us? Are these goals attainable? May ensure that we think about something that is achievable, something that's practical. Try to ensure that once it's achievable, who are the people who benefit from this goal? Is it just for myself only or for others? If the goal is only for me to benefit, it means that I'm selfish. But if the goal is for me to help others, when I'm dead and gone, that goal that I've set to achieve is still benefiting others. We have seen the young man who made a light bulb. He has died many years ago, but we're still receiving benefits from this light bulb. So we can see and we can use it for various things. So it's important to note that this goal has to be achievable. And so we also need to ask others to help us. And that's why we're here, a supporting team, helping each other. Now, the goal has to be realistic. To determine if your goal is realistic, ask questions such as, do I truly believe that it can be accomplished? Do I truly believe, do I truly have faith and confidence that my old wallet will be available one day? Now, if I don't believe, then why am I in impassive? Because it takes faith to believe, and faith without work is dead. So we must have faith, knowing full well that I believe that my membership of impassive will achieve success in due course, a certain time period. And also, have I accomplished anything similar in the past? You know, in the past, I've been members of other organizations, but some of them were quite good, and some of them we may not achieve what they told us they were going to achieve. But we know that with impassive, we know based on the leaders, the founders, we are fellow founders, we are very confident that what we are looking for to achieve, it will be successful, it will be accomplished. Now, next, can I identify the conditions that would have to exist to accomplish this goal? Now, what are the conditions? Trustworthy. We trust the leadership, the founders, and we also trust our fellow members that they'll do what's required to achieve our goals in impassive. Now, we know that the leader is leading from the front, but a leader is not a leader because he leads. The best leader is the best leader because he's the best at serving. So we are learning how to serve. So before we can lead, we have to be able to serve first, because the best leader is the one who's best at serving. So whatever our goals are, we have to ensure that our goals involve some element of service. How can we achieve this? Who are we serving? Those who are less fortunate, fellow members. So it's very important that our goals are realistic. Now, creating timely goals. A goal should be grounded within a time frame. With no time frame tied, there's no sense of urgency. Now, when do you want to achieve or accomplish your goals? Someday won't work, but if you're anchored within a time frame, then we achieve it. Now, what is our time frame for impassive? It is not the 10th of January 20X. It is whenever the leadership confirm that the time is right. So not our time. So council, well, I want to achieve this goal in impassive by January 1st, 2023. No, we know that our goal is our goal. Mr. Ash has his own goal, and his goal is his own time. Now, my goal is to maybe help those who are less fortunate, whether building a school or a home for the less unfortunate. So my time frame is going to be dependent on whenever Mr. Ash's time frame is achieved, right? So there are times when our goals are depending on others. And because of the faith we have in impassive, we have to understand that we need to plan our goals right now in a smart manner, but understand that there will be some temporary limitations because Mr. Ash has already achieved his goal and is going through it now. We need to plan our goal in a very smart manner. And that's what we're working on. Now, the goal must also be tangible, something we can either experience, touch, feel, smell, hear, or see. So it has to be tangible. Now, if it's not tangible, then it will not work. So when our goal is tangible, we have a better chance of making it specific and measurable and attainable. So in summary, our goal has to be SMART. The S stands for specific. We have to have a definite specific goal. The M stands for measurable. We have to be able to measure this goal, because if you cannot measure it, how will we know when we have achieved it? And we need to know how much, how many, and how will I know when it's accomplished? When we start to see the fruits of our labor and the fruits of what our goal was. So we know that M stands for measurable. The A stands for attainable. When we identify the goals that are most important to us, we begin to figure out ways we can make them come true. So how can I make my goals come true? How can I achieve my goals? Now, we must write things down, because if we do not write it down, we'll have no record. And that's why in impassive, they have proper records. We have computer systems keep accurate records. And these systems that they have will not crash or will not become unstable like my internet, because now I'm trying to stay online. And because of the non-sustainability, there are times I'm getting disconnected. But impassive, once we have our system up and running, it will be second to none. And we have faith, but sometimes these issues now are helping us to appreciate. So when everything's online, we'll appreciate it more, because we'll remember the days when we were waiting for a long time to get online. And now impassive is up and running. We have seen the SMART goals being achieved within a certain time frame. So we know that these goals are attainable, and we need to work towards that. And we know it has to be timely and tangible. So that was the first, the final part of achieving our goals. And we know that they must be SMART. So everyone has been listening, and I'm sure someone within the group can give a quick summary of SMART, because what we learned tonight is not for us to keep to ourselves. When we're young, our parents give us some information to pass to someone. And when we arrive, we forget the message. And they said, well, you ate the message. Well, we don't want to eat the message now. We want to pass it on to others. So I'm wondering if there's someone within the group right now who can tell us in a brief summary about the SMART goals. You want to set your goals, and your goals has to be SMART. So briefly tell us what the SMART means, S-M-A-R-T, just to ensure that we're paying attention. Anyone, go ahead. And then we'll take questions, Doctor. Anyone?
Anyone, what does SMART mean?
I would say,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I would start it off by saying attainable is one, durable is two, feasible is three, realistic is four, and time frame is important.
All right, go ahead, Judith.
Yes, Dr. Derek. He already said it. The first one, S stands for specific goals. Then M stands for measurable, A stands for attainable, R stands for realistic goal. T, I didn't really get T.
Timely and tangible.
So I'm rushing in and out. So that one I didn't get it. Sorry for that.
Okay. Go ahead, Sandra.
T is for trustworthy.
Okay.
All right. Darian. You have to unmute Darian.
I'm trying to. Okay, I'm ready. All right. The goals have to be specific, measurable, attainable, reliable, and timely.
All right. Wonderful. Nice. Thank you. Go ahead, Antoinette. Antoinette, I'm unmute.
That was it. She just gave all of them.
Yeah.
It was specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, timely, and tangible.
All right.
So we as members of Impassive must think about what our goals are going to be, because we can't wait until when our wallet starts flowing. Then it's going to be too late, because the money will be coming in. Now, how will I invest it? We've covered that. How will I put some away in a trust? How will I have my small business organization to pay my right amount of tax, but to maximize my deductions? How will I do that? So too often we wait until it's too late, and that's why we are learning now. So one of the most important things to do is to set our SMART goals, and each of us get our pen and paper in our own private time and write down our SMART goals. Maybe the reason why the screen got cut off is that we can remember it in our brain, because once it's there on the screen, we're looking. But now we are encouraged, not forced, but we are encouraged and enticed to remember these goals and apply them in our lives. And these apply to anything in life. Well, whatever you do in life, you must be smart. And we are trying to learn these things, but not only learn them for our own benefit, but pass them on to others. So we must find someone we can teach them to. And the more we teach someone about these goals, the more they'll apply, they'll help us in our own lives. Because as a teacher, I learn more when I teach, because I have to go and do some research and practice. So the more we practice. So I'll now hand back over. If there are any more questions before we go into other topics. So Doctor, go ahead now.
Okay, wonderful. 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 Thank you very much, Dr. DIAN. Really appreciate it. Very, 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 very much. Thank you all. And so the final words is going to come from our CEO, Ash Mofari. Let these words be remembered. Please, let these words be remembered. Our CEO, Ash Mofari.
Mindset. We're going to win, and that's it. So if you remember the following, like I'm just going to read all of that. Do it or die. Remember that word? Stacking the cool. Unpassive is a beacon of hope for humanity. Oh, bless. Lifting up humanity. AI with heart. It's a done deal. Cat mode. OMV. Over market value. See you at the very top where your ears will pop. Unpassiveers. Unpassivians. Proudinaires. Founders. Hybrid data centers. Innovative labs. Disruptive technologies. Your own private domain name. When we reach the top, we will invent a new top. I may not change the world, but I can change someone's world. Do it perfect or don't, okay? Don't even, okay, that's our philosophy in Unpassive. A unicorn before it's born. Get ready for the greatest shape of your life. We are the correction for the corruption. Technology at its best. We are so in it doing it. AI at its finest. And more and more and more. We are having a new dictionary, a new terminology, our own terms. And if you're not in Unpassive, you're not going to understand what we're talking about. we made it from scratch, one by one, and it will continue going on.
Wonderful, wonderful. Let these words be remembered.